Hello everyone, welcome to another live stream. I thought I'd do one last one regarding the heron attack that I had. I think it's important that I talk about herons, sort of what measures you can use to prevent them attacking your fish. And hopefully anyone watching this stream will learn something from it. So what can you use to fight herons, basically? They're protected species, unfortunately. So nets, fishing line, and there's also a sprinkler system you can get that has a motion sensor on that you can hook up to a battery, and I think they're about £80, and they have about a range of 35 meters roughly, and they can be used to stop herons attacking your fish. So I've noticed a few more people coming on, so I'm just talking about how you can be proactive in prevention of your fish being damaged. Now, if you're in the process of building your pond, I would highly recommend you keep your fish indoors. There's a lot of herons about at this time of year, and they will attack your fish, even if they're not hungry. Apparently, it's their nature, and they will literally spear your fish for fun, which doesn't seem to be, to me, to be very hunter-gathering sensible in terms of hunting for things. Normally when you hunt for something because you're hungry and you need food, not for fun. So obviously I'll just show you my koi fish as it stands, since we've got a few more people coming on. So that's the aftermath, ladies and gentlemen. So I have my regular gold koi there. We have a butterfly koi, which is gold there, and an orange butterfly one there. Since it's swimming back round again, I thought I'd show you my regular small koi here, which has some growth on his body. He's not doing well. And the other one there, it's hiding underneath here. I can just spin that around. He's the same, basically. So it's not looking too good, ladies and gentlemen, and I've come to the conclusion that there's not much that can be done for them. So let me tell you what I'm probably going to end up doing. I think to be humane to them, I'm going to have to look at ending it with them, unfortunately. Hello, Andrew. Hope you're keeping good. So I've got this, ladies and gentlemen. So this is clove bud essential oil. It can be used to numb the pain if you've got toothache, but also it's a good sedative for your fish. And if you use enough of it, it'll put them to sleep for good. Now, some people have argued that that's not that humane, and just taking the fish out of water is more humane than using oil. However, I have reached out to a recent live that many of you may have been watching today with Twisted Koi and Vince, and he had a panel of guests on, some of which I've never seen before, and he was quite really actually helpful. And if Vince does see this, I just want to say a big thank you for doing that live stream and talking about herons and what you can do to prevent your fish being hurt and attacked. So essentially that's where we're at the moment. If I'm going to be blunt with you, at this point today, by the end of today, I will have lost all my fish from that single attack. I would have rather had that heron take one fish than hurt the others. Now, in hindsight, I should have really constructed some sort of fish cave made out of stone, so they could have at least gone somewhere where they had some protection from the bird. But it was only a temporary measure. I didn't expect that to happen. You know, in hindsight, it's easy to say, you should have done this, you should have done that, I could have done this, I could have done that, I could have had them indoors, I could have built a fish cave, I could have been there. You know, you can always, in hindsight, say many things, but what actually happens is what actually matters. And yeah, I feel a little bit guilty um, letting this happen to them, because the big koi that I showed you there was pretty much my favourite one. I thought I managed to save him by putting him back in the pool. I've treated him with that acrylic stuff. I've also obviously put some salt in, hoping that they'd recover. But there seems to be some sort of furry growth actually on the fish, and I don't think they're savable. So what we're going to be doing today is euthanizing two of my fish, two of the remaining. So, I know I've noticed a few people have just come on. So that's the aftermath of the heron attack. And obviously I've got a small one there and a larger one here. And what we're going to be doing is, I won't show it on camera, guys, because I don't think it's something you guys want to see. But I'll be using this clove bud to put them asleep. It's unfortunate that I have to do that. Andrew James says, I had a friend that hangs old CD over his pond, seemed to work for him. That's very possible. There's many things you can do, obviously. It's a shame you're not allowed to have an automated gun turret in it. But what can I say, really? I've never seen a heron in my garden before, so you wouldn't. If I'd seen lots of herons come to visit my pond and my garden in the past, I would have been certainly more careful, more vigilant. I certainly wouldn't have left my fish in a small pool like that, thinking there's lots of herons around, but there isn't in this area. That's the first time I've ever seen one visit my garden. So unfortunately, it's just something I've learnt from. So let me just show you what I've been doing a little bit today. Not a lot, because it's been quite cold outside. I've just been doing a bit of a tidy up around the pond and cleared that shelf. If I just show you what I've been doing in here, I've been cutting a rectangle square out of the wood there, and if I just show you the small spillway that I've got, so I'll be putting that on there like so. As you can see, that's what I've been up to. I've run out of silicone, so I've ordered some more MS300 silicone, which is really good stuff. I highly recommend it. And I've been lining this with the pond armor stuff, which is this pond shield non-toxic epoxy. I've already shown you this in the previous streams, but I thought I'd just show you what I've been up to. So that's what I've been up to, guys. So really I'm just waiting for us to get some decent weather. Hopefully we'll get some weather at some point where it stops bloody rainy. But that's unfortunately the weather's been quite poor, hasn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Hopefully that will change. I thought I'd show you the inside of my cupboard here. So I have an Aqua Evolution UV that I'll be taking out, because that'll be not required when I put the new filter in. But this is more or less how I've wired it all up into this little cupboard. I thought you'd find this interesting on how I've done the wiring. I highly recommend anyone who has a pond use one of these float switches. So basically there's a mechanism in there that activates the power, and when you do that it disconnects the power and everything turns off. So these are highly recommended. If you're not going to put your pump on, if you're going to have the pump right on the bottom of your pond or use some sort of bottom drain, you'll need one of these. If you don't and you have a pond you can a pump you can move around, you can, you know, put it on a few bricks and then you won't lose any water in the event there's a massive leak, and at least you'll have some water left in your pond to keep your fish alive. Chris Hawkins says, I think you are doing the right thing. Thank you for that, Chris. I won't lie, I don't want to do it. But I contacted Vince from Twisted Koi. He said to me, send me a few pictures of the fish. Since he's someone I respect in the koi industry quite a lot, he has a lot of knowledge about fish. He's obviously got quite a few ponds himself. I asked him, could I send him some pictures, and he said, yeah, sure, send me some pictures via email and I'll have a look. The response I got wasn't very good. He said, I think they're past saving. That's all he really, and that's all you really need to say, I suppose. So, you know, it's somewhat disappointing. Let me just shut this door because it's absolutely freezing outside. Oliver Skinner, leave the Aqua Evolution UV in. You can never have too much UV. Well, I suppose I could leave it in there. You never know. I think the main reason to change my system is so I can simplify the pipe work, make it easier. So, you know, there's 9 people watching at the moment. Do you guys think I'm doing the right thing in euthanizing the fish? I'm not sure about it, but I don't think there's much I can do really. But if I'm honest with you, the small fish does seem to swim around a bit, but he's covered in this furry type whatever it is on top of him. I don't know what it is, but it's possible that fish could improve, but I just don't know. I'm no expert, you know, when it comes to medicine and treating fish. You know, if I was a vet, maybe I could do something. I know there's a few YouTubers who've got like some sort of bandage underwater kit that you can buy. That's about £50, and apparently there's lots of substances you can do. You can take the fish out, you can sprinkle some of this stuff on, and apparently it sort of helps cure the wounds. But I just don't know if the wounds were too severe, to be honest with you. Big Rick says, I think you're definitely doing the right thing. Well, I hope I am, because you know, I apologise if these videos that I've been putting up are a bit, I don't know, what's the word? I don't know, all about me, I suppose, when it's more about the fish, isn't it? But it just feels like I've completely failed. All I wanted to do was put my fish temporarily in a small pool, right? Just long enough for me to get the pond built. And then all this started happening, and I thought, oh God. So then I rushed to get all the fish in a small pool into the garage quickly, in the hope that they weren't too badly hurt. So 2 of the butterfly were completely lying on their side. So it's like the herons sort of speared them in a place that sort of disabled their back and stopped them from being able to, you know, move, basically. Sort of immobilized them. I think it's quite cruel, isn't it, of a creature to attack loads of fish when, like, if you're just hungry for one, you know. I just I just thought it was really cruel, really, but that's nature, isn't it? Now, Oliver Skinner said something recently, and you're one of the watchers at the moment, regarding um, pipe, PVC pipe. And you said it can last up to 100 years, waste pipe. Technically, if you read up the instructions, on the internet, and you look it up, it, I disagree with that. I really disagree with that, and I'll tell you why. Because I've left PCV pipe out lots of times, and it's literally, I can stand on it and it literally collapses. I've got some white pipe out there, and the type of pipe you can buy from B&Q, and it snaps in half when I just stand on it. So I really seriously doubt that myth that PVC pipe, waste pipe, can last for 100 years. I just think that's quite laughable. But that's my opinion. And my experiences, because I had lots of waste pipe connections, and I hit it with a hammer, and it just snapped off. If it's that strong, it shouldn't just snap off. And it's been exposed to UV light for about 2 years plus. So I find it hard to see that PVC waste pipe can last for 100 years, even 50 years. I saw some claims online to say it can last 50 years in strong UV light. I don't agree with that. I still think pressure pipe is a lot stronger and will outlast any waste pipe. So Gwen says, yes, you have done the right thing for your fish. You have stopped the awful suffering, and that's the best thing. Hopefully you can now get on with your new pond and look to the future. Thanks a lot, Gwen. Appreciate your comment. It was very nice of you to say that. I don't know what else I can really say, regarding the situation. Nets is obviously a big issue. Lots of people I've looked into nets recently. We've done quite a lot of research, actually. How you need to raise your nets above your pond. Now, I don't think I'm going to have an issue with my main pond when it comes to herons, because it's going to be too deep for them. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of a shelf that they may be able to get access to, but you can, obviously, if you make your pond deep enough. I know some people have got 4 feet deep ponds. A heron is going to get nowhere down that deep. The only thing it can do is stab at your fish through a net. So that's something people need to understand and realise that it can be quite frustrating. Maybe it's a good idea to put a CCTV camera up that you can remotely watch on your phone when you're at work. And then if you see something, you could ring your next door neighbour and say, quick, round to my house. There's a heron there trying to get into my pond. I don't know how practical that is. If you've got some good neighbours that are in all the time, maybe that is a possibility as an option, But when it comes to shallow ponds, it can be frustrating. I do have some good news, though. Some news that you might find this interesting. So I've got a small pond with a fish cave, which is a natural built pond. Now, I thought I only had one shabunkan in there. Today, I saw a goldfish has like a white colouring on the top of it, swimming around in the fish cave. So I've got 2 then. I've got 2 in the small pond. I'm a big believer in fish caves in that case, because I'm pretty sure that heronfish would have gone to that small pond to get those fish as well if it couldn't get hold of the fish out of the mini pond. I did speak to Vince about fish caves, and he seems to be under the impression that it's a place where waste can get trapped, and I agree with him on that point. But also, a fish cave is a safe place where they can go to get if they're being attacked. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever watched the Pond Digger on YouTube, although he hasn't done a video for a long time, so I'm a bit concerned that he's okay. But he did a lot of videos about building fish caves, and he seemed to put a lot of stock in them. And I do believe they serve a good purpose. You know, in hindsight, maybe I should have built a fish cave in the small pond, out of a flagstone, out of stones, and they had somewhere they could run to get out of the way. And in hindsight, it don't matter how strong that fucking heron is, it ain't going to spear a piece of stone or concrete, isn't it? Is it? So, in hindsight, I do think fish caves are very invaluable, and I would highly recommend fish caves to anyone. You know, you can buy double wall drainage pipe, a short piece. There's lots of people quite often selling offcuts. Get a piece of drainage twin wall pipe that they use in the ground quite often, maybe 20 up to 30 centimeters wide, maybe a piece that's about half a meter long, and put that in your pond as a fish cave, just in case something like this happens. Hello, Humber Koi, nice to see you. So Oliver Skinner says, yes, pressure pipe will last longer, but the 4-inch, what was that? Hang on. The 4-inch waste pipe we have is much thicker than the B&Q pipe, but thinner than the pressure pipe. So maybe we've got a better grade of waste pipe. Obviously, the bigger your waste pipe is, the thicker it's going to be. But I do think pressure pipe is better. It's thicker. Quite often when you buy pressure pipe, in fact, you know what? I'll show you a piece of it. I've got some over here, and then I can show you the difference. I can just get this to change in 1 minute. Right, let me go over to the supplies that we have here. So this is 43mm. Just give me a second to put the light on, because it's going to be better if I put the light on. Right, so we've got some light. So this is all my pond equipment, by the way, that I've bought for the job. So this is, I believe, 43mm waste pipe. It's not that strong, you know. Let me just try something here. If I put a lot of pressure on, you can squeeze that. I had to do this one-handed, but you can see what I'm getting at. And also the wall of the pipe isn't very thick. However, I think I have another piece here which is grey. Again, I believe that is, I think that's is that waste pipe as well, might be. And then I've got, now this is pressure pipe. Look at the thickness difference in that. It's basically equivalent. Obviously it's a bit narrower than waste pipe because the wall is a lot thicker. It's about 2mm thicker than your standard waste pipe. So it's a bit hard to do this one-handed. So let's try and put them side by side so you can see. Hang on. So basically these are the comparable pipes. As you can see, there's a massive difference to pressure pipe on the left and waste pipe on the right. So basically the pipe on the left will outlast the pipe on the right. Whenever you're comparing pipes as well, always make sure you get outside diameter dimensions and inside diameter dimensions when you're trying to figure out pipe sizes. because it is a minefield. You can always buy the wrong type of pipe, and there's also different types of scales as well, because you have metric and then you have imperial. Imperial, like 1 inch pipe, and you can have metric 32mm pipe, which is equivalent, but they are always going to be slight differences, and it can be a bit of a minefield when it comes to pipe. Hopefully you found that interesting. So Big Rick says, I've seen some people use those things you put onto your hose pipe. It has a sensor that goes off when it detects movement and scares off any unwanted activity. Yeah, Rick, I've seen some of the videos today showcasing them. They're about 80 quid apparently. They take a battery or something, and they can last for about a couple of months or something like that before the battery needs replacing. Oliver Skinner says, yes, much thicker, I see now. It's a shame all their fittings are so expensive for pressure pipe. You're absolutely right about that, Oliver. They are a fortune. Let me show you the differences in waste pipe fittings. This is your typical Cockney Koi hose tail to hose tail ball valves, and they're also designed for waste pipe. These are waste pipe fittings. So that's a waste pipe fitting. That'll probably set you back about a tenner, something like that. Now this is a union pressure pipe. This is, I think it's 1.5 inch. This is, and these are pretty pricey at 18 quid each. But if you go to a koi shop and you try and buy this, they'll charge you about 25 quid. I buy all my stuff off eBay, and I get them a lot cheaper, you see. So koi dealers can be quite expensive, you know. But I wanted to show you that. You know, incidentally, if anyone's interested and they would like some of these, let me know, because I've got quite a few of these I'll have lying around after I've upgraded my pond. These are basically got hose tails on either side, so it'll fit 32 and 38mm pipe. So that is like this. Now there's different types of pipe, so I thought I'd show you the different types of flexible pipe. Sorry. Right, so here we have your standard flexible pipe. This is the rigid stuff on the left, and on the right is that flexi hose stuff. The flexi hose stuff on the right is a lot more flexible. The stuff on the left is very rigid and hard to move. You know, to be honest with you, they call it flexible pipe, the stuff on the left, but I tell you what, it takes some doing to bend that stuff. Normally I need to get a heat gun out to bend the stuff, but the stuff on the right, you can bend it, you know, just with your fingers. It's that flexible. But there's a massive price difference though. Stuff on the right will cost you, I don't know, 10 to 20 quid. The stuff on the left between 15 and 40 pound. So again, there's a big price difference. This is the stuff that Aquascape use. If you've ever watched an Aquascape video, they will only use this stuff, this reinforced flexible hose, and this can actually be glued into fittings, believe it or not, with cement. If you've ever watched the Pond Advisor in the UK, he pretty much is an advocate for Aquascape products, and he uses this stuff all the time. So there you go. Yeah, all this stuff is a fortune, you know. I don't know why things have to be so expensive. You know, like these pieces of pipe here, you know. But yeah, I'll have plenty of flexi hose ball valves. If anyone is interested, get in touch. Might be able to send you some for free. So a lot of people have talked about the tempests and the gate valves that come with that, and obviously they were leaking. Now Evolution Aqua actually replaced them with this. This is a ball valve, what I would call a mini ball valve, with a union thing on the other side that can be unthreaded, and that's on the surge filter. And I would have thought it'd be very possible to get hold of some of these and put them on your tempests, you know. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about briefly, is the fact that be careful with herons, you know, around your pond. I don't know how you guys are finding the temperatures going off at the moment. For the past week, it's been around the 5 degrees mark. Far too cold for me to be coming out and digging stuff up. You know, I like the ground to be a lot softer when I start digging things. So that's why I've sort of put it on a back burner, you could say. But I have been busy with other things, you know, because basically a family member had major brain surgery, and I've been having problems with people moaning at me at work, and then obviously, you know, all my fish being hacked to pieces and dying, pretty much, which is quite sad, really. I thought I'd be able to save some of them, but unfortunately, that's not possible. So, you know, fortunately, some of you guys have been really nice. Like, I will mention it again. Martin from Yorkshire Koi and Garden YouTube channel sent me some YouTube play button perspex things that I can paint on, and he even offered to send me a butterfly koi, you know, as a little present, really. And that was quite nice of him. You know, obviously I can't do anything at the moment until I've rebuilt that pond. But I just wanted to, you know, talk about it and let you guys know about the situation regarding, you know, the koi, really. Not much I can really say about that. So how are you guys finding the water temperatures out there? Are you struggling with it? So yeah, it's not been a great week, has it? I think a lot of people have been struggling with their flukes, their parasites, their water parameters, the cold temperatures. It is what it is, I guess. So I don't really know what more I can say, so I'll leave it there. I just want to say a big thank you for everyone coming on. Please go and check out the live stream that Vince on Twisted Koi did recently, today. It'll probably get uploaded. If you need any sort of advice about dealing with herons, because there's lots of people there having a good conversation about it, and I think it's really interesting to listen to other people talk about it. And without further ado, I'll leave it there, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Have a good day.